My precious child, listen carefully. This message has found you tonight for a reason, and the reason is not a small one. You did not stumble onto this by accident. I guided you here, right now, to this quiet space, because there is something I need to say directly to you. Something I have been waiting for the right moment to say. Something that belongs specifically to this season of your life. I know how the day has felt. I know the kind of tired that settles into you when the world goes quiet and you are finally alone with your thoughts. The tired that is not just physical. The tired that comes from carrying things a long time without relief. I see it. I know there are things you carry in silence, things you have not put into words for anyone, things you are not even entirely sure how to name for yourself. Those things are not invisible to me. Nothing about your life is invisible to me, not a single corner of it. But I need you to do something right now. Do not let the noise of everything waiting for you outside this moment pull you away. Whatever is on your list, whatever is unresolved, whatever is pressing in from every direction, let it wait, just for right now. Let it sit outside this space while you receive what I have come to give you. Settle in. Take a slow breath. Let the world get a little quieter. Open the door of your heart, even if it is stiff from being closed for a while. Even if it only opens a little, just enough for my voice to come through. Because what I have come to say to you tonight is going to matter. It is going to touch something in you that has not been touched in a long time. Something you almost stopped expecting to feel again. Stay with me. I am right here. This is me, Jesus, speaking directly into your heart. Not from a distance, not through layers of ceremony or formality, or steps you have to take before you can reach me. Right here, in this moment, in this room where you are sitting, as close to you as your own breathing. I want you to let that land, not past the surface of your mind, into the actual place where you feel things. I am here, with you, right now. You may have been walking through a season that felt like silence from me. A season where you prayed and the air felt like it stopped the words before they could go anywhere. A season where you read things that used to move you and felt nothing. A season where other people seemed to have an easy, vibrant connection with me that you no longer recognized in yourself. That kind of silence is one of the hardest things a person can experience. And I want you to know that what you experienced as silence was not me pulling away. It was preparation. It was me doing something deep and quiet in you that required the noise to be turned down. And I have not been far from you, not for a single day. I was there in the mornings when it took a long time to get out of bed. I was there in the evenings when you went quiet, because there was nothing left to say. I was there in the middle of all the ordinary days that felt like nothing was happening. I was watching. I was listening. I was right beside you the whole time, even when you could not feel me there. And tonight, I have come to speak something specific over your life. Something I have been building toward for a long time. Something I need you to hear from me directly. Not secondhand, not filtered, not from another person's interpretation. From me, right here. You are not alone in this. You never have been. And what I am about to say is the truest thing your heart will hear tonight. My beloved child, I saw you. I saw the moment everything became too heavy to hold. I saw the night you sat in the quiet and let yourself feel the full weight of what you had been carrying. The grief, the uncertainty, the creeping fear that things might not change. I was in that room with you. I counted every tear. I held every single one of them, and not one of them was wasted or unseen. I have seen your hidden struggles, the ones that never make it into a conversation, the ones you have become skilled at smiling through in public. I know the loneliness you carry behind a face that looks fine to everyone else. I know the questions that circle at the edge of your mind when you try to rest. I know the moment you open your eyes in the morning, and for just a second, everything feels normal. And then the weight lands again, all at once. I know that feeling. I have watched you carry it for a long time. I know about the prayer you stopped praying years ago. I know exactly when you went quiet. I know the moment you folded that prayer up and set it down, not because you stopped believing entirely, but because the risk of hoping again felt like more than you could bear. You had prayed for something with everything you had. You had believed with a faith that cost you something real. You had leaned into me with an openness that made you vulnerable, and the answer did not come the way you expected. And when it did not, something inside you grew very still. Not angry, not bitter, just very, very still. You told yourself you had let it go. You told yourself you were fine without it, that it was not meant to be, that perhaps you had been asking for the wrong thing all along. But you did not let it go. You carried the quiet ache of that unanswered prayer into every season that followed, into the good seasons where you smiled and were genuinely grateful, and it still hummed underneath, into the hard seasons where it felt like just one more piece of evidence that certain things were not going to be yours. That low background note of something unresolved, something still waiting, something that still mattered even when you tried hard to act like it did not. I saw all of that. I watched you carry it, and I want you to understand something. I was never unmoved by what you carried. I was never sitting in silence because I did not care. I care about you with a depth that is not possible to put into human words. I care about that prayer. I care about what it cost you to pray it in the first place, and what it cost you when the answer did not come, and what it has cost you every day since to keep living normally while that ache sat quietly in the background. I was working the whole time. From the moment you went quiet, I was working. Not with cruelty, not with indifference, not with some abstract plan that had no room for your actual pain. With intention, with love, with a level of care over your life that you will one day be able to see clearly. And when you do, it will take your breath away. I was preparing you, and I was preparing the answer, and I was making sure that when they came together, it would be in a way that would hold. Not just a quick burst of something good that evaporated, something lasting, something built on foundations I had been laying for years. And tonight, my child, the preparation is complete. What you prayed for all those years ago, the thing you stopped daring to ask for out loud, I have not forgotten it. I have been holding it carefully. And tonight is the night I begin to return it to you. I want to talk with you about the waiting, because I know the waiting has been costly. Not a small cost, a real one, the kind that leaves a mark on a person. You have felt that mark. The silence felt like absence, but it was not absence. The delay felt like rejection, but it was not rejection. Every season that looked like nothing was happening was actually the season where I was doing the deepest work, the work that cannot be rushed, the work that has to happen in the hidden places before anything can emerge into the light. Think about how a seed works. A farmer places it into the ground and then walks away. There is no visible evidence of anything. The field looks identical the day after planting as it did the day before. A stranger walking past would not see anything happening. But underneath the surface, in the dark, in the quiet, the seed is breaking open. It is surrendering the form it had in order to become something entirely different. That breaking, that surrender, that invisible underground transformation, that is the work. And it cannot be done any other way. It cannot be done under artificial lights. It cannot be done in a hurry. It requires the dark. It requires the quiet. It requires the kind of time that feels from the outside like nothing at all. That is what I was doing in you. Every difficult year, every closed door, every prayer that seemed to rise and dissolve into silence, every night you lay awake asking me why, I was doing that underground work. I was building something in your character that could not have been built any other way. The patience you carry now is not the same patience you had when you first started praying. It is not the light, untested patience of someone who has not yet been asked to wait. It is the deep, hard-earned patience of someone who learned to trust in the dark. That kind of patience is worth more than I can tell you. The compassion you carry for other people who are struggling, you could not have felt it at this depth without having walked through your own long stretch of hard. When someone tells you they feel forgotten, you do not nod politely. You know what that feels like. You can sit with them in it. That is a gift I was giving you through the waiting, even when the waiting felt like nothing but pain. And the trust you have in me right now, however fragile it feels, however thin the thread seems, it is real trust. It was tested and it held. Not perfectly. You had your moments of doubt, your moments of pulling away, your moments of deciding that maybe this faith thing was not for you after all. But you came back. You are here right now. That coming back matters more than you know. Hear me clearly on this. What looked like wasted years to you were not wasted years to me. I do not experience time the way you do. I see the whole arc of your life at once. The chapter you are in right now, and the chapters ahead, and the final chapter that brings all of the threads together into something beautiful. I see it. And what I see is a good story. Not good in some vague, theoretical, someday sense. Good in a way you will one day be able to feel in your bones. Good in a way that will make the years of waiting make sense at last. But the person who receives that good story had to be shaped first. The vessel had to be formed before the treasure could go inside it. That shaping, that forming, that long, quiet, careful season of preparation, none of that was punishment. None of it was indifference. It was craftsmanship. It was me, working carefully and lovingly on something that matters enormously to me. And what I was crafting during that season is you. A you with roots. A you who knows how to hold on when things are hard. A you who has been tested and knows, even if imperfectly, how to find your way back to me. A you who is ready now, truly ready for what is coming. The prayer you stopped praying years ago is still valid. It did not expire when you stopped praying it. I kept it. I held it the way you hold something precious that has been entrusted to your care. And the season of preparation is over. Something is shifting tonight, and I need you to understand that I am not speaking this as a comfort. Not as an encouragement to get through the next few days. I am saying it because it is true. Because I am the one making it happen. And because I need you to be awake to it when it arrives. Right now, as you hear my voice, the atmosphere around your life is beginning to move. Not next week. Not after you have gotten yourself together or made yourself more deserving or cleared up the things you think are standing in the way. Right now, in this very moment, the visible world is still telling you the same story it told you yesterday. The circumstances have not caught up to what I am doing yet. That is normal. The visible world always lags behind the unseen. The seed breaks open in the dark long before the green shoot appears above the soil. But in the unseen places, in the realm where I move and work and declare things into being, things have already changed. Doors that were locked for years are opening tonight. Things that were held back are being released. Circumstances that felt permanently fixed are beginning to come loose. I have spoken, and when I speak over a life, it moves. When I declare breakthrough, breakthrough comes. It does not ask permission from the visible world. It does not wait for the evidence to show up before it becomes real. When I speak, the reality is established in the unseen, and then it begins its journey into the visible. And tonight, I am speaking breakthrough over you, not as a wish, not as a someday, as a declaration issued right now by the one who made you and who has been working on your behalf through every season you thought was silence. Your breakthrough is here tonight. I am the one who makes ways where there is no way. I am the one who brings rivers to the desert. I am the one who causes new things to spring up from dry ground in seasons and places where nothing was expected to grow. And I am doing all of those things tonight in your life, in the unseen places where preparation has been happening this whole time. The places inside you that have felt dry for so long. The places where you stopped expecting anything refreshing to come. Those places are receiving something new right now. And the prayer you folded up and put away, I am asking you to unfold it. I know that feels like risk. I know the last time you held that prayer open and waited and nothing came the way you expected. Something cracked inside you that took a long time to quiet down. I am asking you to take the risk again. Not because I am asking you to pretend the disappointment did not happen. Not because I want you to simply believe harder and ignore what experience has taught you. But because this time the answer is ready. This time I am not asking you to wait anymore. This time the door I am opening is actually open. And I need you to bring that prayer back and walk through. So let the hope come. Do not argue it back down when it rises. Do not immediately remind yourself of the last time. My voice tonight is louder than the last disappointment. My declaration is more powerful than the memory of the closed door. And I want you to sit with that for a moment. What would it feel like to actually let yourself hope again? Not the careful, hedged, well, I will try not to expect too much kind of hope. Real hope. The kind that is willing to be wrong because it believes enough to try. The kind you had before the long waiting taught you to be careful. I am asking for that kind of hope tonight. Not because it is easy, because it is the right response to what I am doing. When I move, I want to find you moving with me, not standing at a cautious distance, watching to see if it is real before you let yourself believe it. Let yourself believe it. This is the real thing. Your breakthrough is here tonight. Let it be what it is. The shifting has already begun. All I am asking of you is to receive it. Before I go any further tonight, my child, I need to say something to you about who you are. Because I think you have been carrying a quiet lie about yourself for a very long time. and I want to deal with it directly. The lie says you are not quite enough. It says there is a version of you that might deserve good things, that might qualify for a miracle. But that this version, the one sitting here right now, with the history you have, and the doubts you carry, and the failures you remember, is a little too much and not enough, all at the same time. That lie is wrong. I need you to hear that clearly. That lie is not coming from me. Not a single word of it. You are enough. Not a future, cleaned up, better behaved version of you. Not the version of you that finally gets it all together. You, right now, exactly as you are, sitting wherever you are sitting, carrying whatever you are carrying. This version of you is enough. I did not make a mistake when I made you. I do not look at your life and see a list of deficiencies that have to be corrected before I can fully love you. I look at you and I see my child, someone I chose and called and have been thinking about since before the foundations of the earth were laid. Someone I have loved through every season, good and bad, faithful and faithless, strong and completely broken. The parts of yourself you are most ashamed of. The history you would quietly erase if you could. The doubts you think should disqualify you from receiving anything good from me. None of that changed my love for you by a single degree. Not even a fraction. My love is not a reward for performance. It is not a score that climbs when you behave well and drops when you do not. My love was settled on you before you drew your first breath, and it has not shifted since. You are chosen, not because you are the most ready, or the most capable, or the one with the best record. You are chosen because I chose you. That is the only reason, and it is sufficient. And I want to say one more thing to you, and I need you to let it land. I am proud of you. I know that might be hard to receive. I know the voice that tells you there is nothing to be proud of. That if I could see the full picture of your life, I would be disappointed. That the gap between who you are and who you know you should be is too wide to bridge. But I am not measuring you by that gap. I am measuring you by what I see sitting in front of me right now. Someone who has walked through seasons that were hard enough to undo people who were stronger, and who is still here, who is still watching, who is still reaching, even weakly, towards something beyond themselves, who is still willing to hear my voice when I have been harder to hear than they would have liked. That takes a kind of stubborn, quiet courage that is not nothing. I see it. I see it clearly. And I am proud of it. Stop letting the world write the definition of what you are worth. Those measurements were never mine. In my eyes, you are irreplaceable. There is no one else who could be you. And the world needs exactly what I put inside you when I made you. You are deeply loved, my child. Not in a broad, general, everyone in the world sense. Specifically, particularly by name, by me. And that love, the love I have for you right now in this moment, is the ground on which everything else I am telling you tonight stands. Not because you earned it, not because you finally did something worthy of it, because I decided to love you, because I made you, and everything I make carries my care, and because you are mine. That is the foundation, and from that foundation, everything that is coming is possible. The breakthrough is possible. The answered prayer is possible. The new thing springing up from old ground is possible. Because you are loved by the one who makes the impossible ordinary. Rest in that tonight, not as a concept, as a lived reality. You are loved by the one who holds all things in his hands, and those same hands are holding you right now, in this moment, with a grip that will not loosen. I have told you what I see, and I have told you what I am doing. Now I want to ask something of you. Just one thing. Open your hand. The prayer you stopped praying years ago, bring it back out tonight. Hold it open again, even if your hands are not quite steady. Not because you can force the outcome by willpower, you cannot, but because I am asking you to come into agreement with what I am already doing. I am moving. The work has already begun, and I need you to be standing in agreement with it, not huddled back behind the protective walls of having no expectations. I need your yes, even a small yes, a trembling yes, a yes that is honest enough to say out loud, I am afraid of being disappointed again, but I choose to trust you anyway. That kind of yes is the most courageous thing I know, and I will honor it. Take my hand again, my child. I know trust feels risky right now. I know the memory of praying and waiting and not seeing the answer come the way you expected is still clear enough to make hope feel dangerous. But I am stronger than that memory. I am stronger than the voice that says it will not work this time either. I am stronger than your doubts, and stronger than your fears, and stronger than every voice, internal or external, that has told you that the stuck chapter of your life is somehow the permanent one. It is not permanent. That chapter is ending. I am writing the next one, and the pages ahead are good. But I need something from you first. Release the parts of your life you have been holding on to so tightly that your hands are tired. The timeline that has made no sense no matter how long you have stared at it. The relationship that has cost you more than you expected. The dream you have not quite been able to fully relinquish, but have also not allowed yourself to fully hold. The version of your future you keep talking yourself out of wanting because wanting it feels too risky. Hand all of it to me, not giving up on it, not resigning yourself to doing without it, placing it in hands that are more capable than yours, hands that have been working on these exact things even on the days when you were not watching, hands that see what you cannot see. My hands. And as you open your hand and give it to me, receive what I am giving you in return. I spoke this once through the prophet Isaiah, and it has never stopped being true. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. That word is for you tonight, not for someone else who seems to have it more together, not for a future version of you who has finally earned something like this. For you, right now, a new thing. Not a slightly improved version of the old struggle. Not the same situation with different packaging. Something entirely new. Something that was not there before. Something I am springing up in your life right now, in this season, from what looks like empty ground. Away in your wilderness. In the places that have felt directionless, where every path you looked down seemed to lead nowhere, I am making a way. Not eventually, not in the indefinite future. Now. It springs forth now. And rivers in your desert, in the places inside you that have been dry so long you forgot what it felt like to be alive in them. I am bringing water, real water, the kind that does not dry up after a few good days. The desert is not your permanent address. The wilderness is not the final word about your life. I am doing a new thing. Can you perceive it? Let yourself perceive it. Open the part of you that has been closed and let the first signs of the new thing register. The prayer you stopped praying years ago is being answered. The long preparation is complete. The breakthrough is here tonight. And I am with you, my beloved child, in every single step from this moment forward. Comment, I love your presence below if you can feel me with you right now. If this word has touched something deep inside you tonight, type Amen as a quiet act of agreement between you and me. I see every one of those words, my child. Not a single one goes unnoticed by me. Now receive my blessing, beloved. Receive my peace tonight. Not the fragile kind that requires everything around you to settle down first before it shows up. The deep kind. The kind that does not ask your circumstances for permission before it enters. The kind that holds steady even when the surface of your life is still unsettled. The way an anchor holds a ship even when the water above is moving. That is the peace I am giving you tonight. Receive it. Let it go deeper than your thoughts, past the part of you that is still analyzing and calculating and trying to figure out how all of this works. Let it go into the quiet center of you. Receive my strength, the kind that does not depend on how rested you feel, or how confident you are, or how much you think you have left, the kind that rises up from somewhere underneath your feelings and carries you forward, regardless of what your emotions are doing. That strength is yours tonight. It has already been placed inside you. Receive my joy, not the surface kind that evaporates when something goes wrong, the deep running kind, the kind that flows underneath everything, like a river in bedrock, quiet and constant, and impossible to fully dry up. You came here tonight carrying something, my child, a weight you had been carrying for a long time. And I am not sending you away with that same weight. You came with the quiet ache of the prayer you stopped praying years ago. And I am sending you away with a different word in your spirit. The answer is coming. The new thing is already springing forth. The way in the wilderness has already been prepared. The rivers in the desert are already beginning to move toward you. Your breakthrough is here tonight. Not on the way, not approaching from a distance. Here. The preparation was long, but it is complete, and the season is now. Walk forward from this moment knowing I am right beside you, not somewhere far ahead that you have to strain to reach. Right here at your shoulder, in every step, through every uncertain morning, in every moment you look at your life and wonder if things will really change. I will be there. And when the doubts come back, as they will, when the old familiar voices try to tell you that nothing has really changed, come back to this moment. Remember what I spoke over you tonight. Remember that I am the one doing the new thing. Remember that I make ways in places where there is no way, and I bring rivers to places that have been dry. Remember that the prayer you stopped praying years ago was held carefully in my hands the whole time. And remember that the answer to it belongs to you. I love you, my child. Not as a phrase, not as a general sentiment toward people who believe in me. You, specifically, by name, as an individual who is known and valued and irreplaceable. I love you with the same love that sent me to the cross. Nothing about that has changed. Nothing about it will ever change. Go in my peace. Amen.